Hello, welcome to LICD Lecture 16A. Today's topic is asymmetric inverting Schmidt trigger using diode. So we will be solving one numerical on it. So we have to analyze the circuit given and plot the hysteresis curve of the same. We have to consider the silicon diode. So this is my circuit which is given. Now strangely given there are two diodes connected, but believe me, it's a inverting Schmidt trigger. Why the inverting Schmidt trigger? Because here the input is applied to the inverting terminal, and my fire the non-inverting terminal, we have a part of output is connected back to the non-inverting terminal, input terminal. So this is just a inverting Schmidt trigger numerical. Now there are some quick observations. Let me just increase the thickness. So it's an inverting amplifier, as I've already mentioned. Op-amp act as a comparator over here. So it's basically an op-amp with a positive feedback. So op-amp is comparing V plus and V minus voltages. Also, since the power supply is given as plus or minus 11, we consider plus or minus VSAT as 90% of VCC. That will be close to 10 volts. We have approximated it to 10 volts. Exactly, it will be 10.1. So let us consider 11 into zero point 0.9. It will be around 9.9 volts. Sorry. So it will be around 9.9 volts. Now, we know that for a comparator, right, if output is at plus 10, so let's consider VSAT as plus 10. So plus VSAT will be plus 10. So V out, if it is plus 10, whenever V plus is greater than V minus, we know this fact. And it is output is at minus VSAT, that is minus 10, when V plus is less than V minus. Okay, so this is a rock solid foundation. Comparator or a Schmidt trigger will have only two states, either plus VSAT or minus VSAT. We have to assume the one and do the analysis. This numerical. So to find the upper threshold voltage, that is VUTP, see, it's a sinusoidal wave. Can be, it can be a sinusoidal wave or any other wave which is periodic in nature. So sinusoidal wave will start from a negative value, let's say, and go to a positive value. Let's consider. So we already have referred to the, let me just expand it. Yeah. So we have already seen before the hysteresis curve for inverting Schmidt trigger. For VUTP, the hysteresis curve looks like this. It starts from negative V in voltages and goes to the positive V in voltages. So we can say that as V in increases from minus infinity to plus infinity, minus infinity, minus negative, I mean the most negative values, and plus infinity means the positive values, basically the higher positive values. So over here, knowing that this will be the hysteresis curve for my upper threshold point, that means if Vin is less than VUTP, output will be at plus VSAT, that is plus 10, and when Vin is greater than VUTP, output will be at minus 10 or minus VSAT. So that's what we are assuming over here. Okay. So what we will do is, initially we assume that your V plus dominates, right? Okay, so I have included both the circuit diagram as well as the explanation. So it will be easier for us to understand. So where I was, yeah, as V in increases from minus infinity to plus infinity, my threshold point will be VUTP, and for V in less than VUTP, my output will be at plus 10, and whenever V in is greater than VUTP, output will be at minus 10. That's how inverting Schmidt trigger works. So initially we V plus dominates because output, because input is at minus infinity, so V plus will be definitely greater than V minus. So the output will be at plus 10 volts, that is plus VSAT, as V plus is very much greater than V minus. Now as V out becomes V out is plus 10 right now. Over here in this diagram, which diode will be on? Yes, you're thinking correctly. Diode D2 will be on, whereas D1 will be off because it is reverse bias. So state of diode D1 is reverse bias and state of diode D2 will be forward bias. So if you can trace this part, this will be plus 10. It will be, the diode will be the forward bias. So it can be replaced by a 0.7 volt battery. And you have in the circuit D2, R2 and R3 active with the 10 volts. So the effective state of the circuit with V out equal to 10 volts is as follows. We have V out is equal to 10 volts. diode is replaced by 0.7 volts battery. We have resistor R2 and R3, and here we have V plus. So if we can simplify this, 10 minus 0.7, that becomes 0.3. We have followed by R2 and R1, and V plus is taken from this branch. So by voltage division rule, we can easily write V plus is equal to R3 upon R2 plus R3, and R3 is given as 2K and R2 is given as 500 ohms. So it will be 2K divided by 2K plus 500 into 7.9.3 volts. So if you work out in a calculator, that number will come out to be V plus is equal to 7.44 volts. So this V plus is nothing but your V UTP. That means, let me just show you V UTP. Yeah, this is the VUTP. So what does that mean is the output is at plus VSAT at plus 10 as long as V in is less than 7.44. Now what is V in? V in is nothing but your V minus. So until V minus is less than 7.44, my output will stay at plus 10 volts. So that's what is indicated in this diagram. And whenever V in is greater than or equal to 7.44, that is V minus terminal is at higher potential at 7.44, your V minus will dominate and the output will switch immediately to uh, from plus VSAT to minus VSAT. So right now, if V in is greater than 7.44, output will switch from plus VSAT, that is plus 10, to minus 10 volts. So that's what we have drawn over here. Okay. So this is, we have found out the value of VUTP. Now next is we will find out the value of VLTP. So again, we'll bring back this diagram and let me just reduce it to a lower value. Maybe this. Yeah, that's fine now. I think 24 will be. Yeah, that's it. So now, as we have seen in the upper threshold point, similarly we will refer the lower threshold point. So we, to find the lower threshold point, that is VLTP, we already know the hysteresis curve will be looking like this for a inverting Schmidt trigger. So there are no hidden secrets in it. So whenever V in is greater than VLTP, output is at minus VSAT, and whenever it is less than VLTP, output is at plus VSAT. That's what the hysteresis curve is meaning for lower threshold point or lower triggering point. So now we can see that is input is decreasing from plus VSAT to minus VSAT over here in this case, as you can see. From it's decreasing from plus VSAT and it's going to minus VSAT. So here we consider that initially V minus will dominate because it's a very high value compared to your V plus. V plus is a fraction of output, so it will be lesser than if V out can be max 10, V plus has to be lesser than that. So initially in this case, since a V in is a higher value, so V minus will dominate, and if V minus dominates, your the output will be at minus VSAT. We know that if V plus is less than V minus, output will be at minus VSAT. In this case, it is minus 10. Okay, as evident from here. So if V in is very high, your output is at minus VSAT. That is in this case minus 10. So when the output is at minus 10, which of the states of the diode are on? So yeah, you're thinking correctly. Diode D2 will be off and diode D1 will be on because the cathode voltage is greater than the anode voltage by minus 10 volts. So in this case, this diode D1 will be forward bias and diode D2 will be reverse bias. So the active elements here it is minus 10, diode D1 which is forward bias, R1 and R3. Diode D2, what will happen to diode D2? In the reverse bias, it will act as open. So R2 and D2 will be redundant in this analysis. So the effective state of the circuit with V out equal to plus 10 is as follows. V out is equal to minus 10. Here there is a mistake, I guess. Yes, it's a mistake. So effective state of the circuit with V out equal to minus 10. Here it should be minus 10. Okay, let me see if I can write something over there. Okay, I can draw this. Here it should be minus 10. Let me just change this. Okay, doesn't matter. I think you have understood. V out will be at minus 10 volts. So if V out is at minus 10, if you can trace back the circuit, this is 7.7. The VD on down voltage of the diode, this is R1, and this will be R3. So these are the active elements right now. And we can do minus 10. This is plus 7.5 plus 0.7. That becomes minus 9.3, followed by R1 and R3. So V plus, if you want to calculate, V plus can be evaluated as follows. So let me clear the annotations, please. Yeah, it is now cleared. So here we have minus 9.3, R1 and R3 basically. Okay, let me clear all the drawings first. Yeah, now it's better. So V plus can be determined in terms of voltage division rule, which will be R3 upon R1 plus R3. R1 and R3 both are 2 kilo ohm. So V plus will be over here minus 9.3 into half. So V plus will be minus 4.65 volts. So that is V plus. This V plus is nothing but your VLTP, because here my output is at minus. Here the voltage over here is minus 9.3. So VLTP will mostly be negative. Not always. It can be positive also. It is quite possible that the entire hysteresis curve is shifting towards the positive side. That's positive. That's also possible. But normally, generally, it's negative. So that's why we come to know that this is the lower triggering point. So let me go to the diagram from here. Okay, so this was the diagram which we are talking about. Let me reduce a little. Yeah. So your output will be remaining at minus 10 volts as long as V in over here is greater than minus 4.76. So V in will be greater than minus 4.76, output will remain at minus 10. So if V in becomes less than or equal to minus 4.65, minus 4.65, then your output will be at plus 10. So the output will switch the moment it becomes equal to V in becomes equal to or approaches close to minus 4.65. The output immediately changes its state from minus 10 volts to plus 10 volts. Okay, so indirectly we are saying that V minus is the one which is less, so V plus will dominate. If V plus is greater than V minus, output will be at plus 10 volts, as it is evident from this diagram. Okay, so I hope that this point is clear. So we have found out the values of VUTP and VLTP. These are asymmetric. So when we combine the both, as in what I'm saying, trying to say is this. Now, individually, we have found out that this is the hysteresis curve for the upper threshold point, and this is the hysteresis curve for the lower triggering point. So when we combine them both, it looks like this. So I think this is what we have studied in the inverting Schmidt trigger theory. So this is the inverting Schmidt trigger theory. The tail is ending on the on this side and on this side, on the right hand side, on the lower half, and on the left hand side on the upper half. So the arrows are also indicative of the nature that V UTP is going from left to the right, it comes down and go to the right, whereas V LTP is going from down bottom, going up and to the left hand side. So that's the indicator, and here the plus VSAT and minus VSAT is plus or minus 10. VUTP is 7.44 and VLTP is minus 4.65. So this is what the hysteresis curve is. This hysteresis curve is asymmetric because VUTP and VLTP are not the same. Okay. So now what we will do next is we will verify this in LT-SPICE. So let us start. So I guess LT-SPICE circuit is already built up for your reference. Let me open that window. Yeah. So it's already made available to you. Already the circuit is ready-made, made for your reference so that we can waste less time. And we will observe this hysteresis curve immediately by simulating the circuit. Let me reduce it to 25%. Yeah. Now it is better. So as you can see, my circuit diagram contained D1, R1, R2, D2, R3, and my V in basically, and my supply voltage is plus or minus 11. Here we have considered OP07, which is operational amplifier, and Vin is given as 10 volt peak, 1000 hertz frequency. Okay, so now we can check the output of this. So let me just go to run and click on it. And here we are plotting the output waveform directly, and we will be checking the input. So we need to change the time axis from time to Vin. So as you can see, this is my hysteresis curve. This is the hysteresis curve which we are getting. Actually, we have plotted a flat line. I mean the vertically straight line, but here it is not. As you can see, it's a curve which is happening. Now, why this is so? In reality, to change any voltage from plus 10 to minus 10, it will take a finite time, even for the comparator at its highest speed. Only thing is, it won't be vertically straight line. It will be a slant like this. Now, let's check the value of. We told that V sat is around 9.82 in this case, and you can see if I move the cursor from here and go there. Let me move the cursor. Yeah, as you can see, it is becoming down now. It is 9 minus 9.94. And what is the value of VUTP over here? Let us try to find out. So this is my V at 0, right? Exactly. So its value is coming out to be, I think I have to take that again. Okay, so your horizontally it's coming out to be around, no, it's not showing here. We can check this out in the input output waveforms. Let me close this and I'll run it again and I'll plot V in versus V out. Okay, whenever it cuts this is my upper triggering point. This value is coming out to be close to, let us consider. Okay, so let me bring this over here. Yeah, so this is coming out to be 7.88. We have told around 7.44, so quite close, not a problem. Actually, it's about the saturation voltage, and the lower threshold point is how much? Let us check. Oh, so we have to right click over here. The cursor should come over here. So right now it is at minus 5.7. So it's quite a huge 1 volt difference. So VLTP is shifting a lot. It should be minus 4.65, but it is minus 5.72. Now, as you can see in this waveforms, the change from input from one saturation level to another saturation level is taking some time. So that means the op-amp is a little slow. So what we can do is we can replace this op-amp with a faster op-amp. So how to do that? We can remove this op-amp and from the component you search LTC6244. Now LTC6244 is a high speed op-amp comparatively compared to OP07. So you can check its description. It's a 50 megahertz low noise rail to rail CMOS op-amp, and CMOS are generally faster. So here if I plot it again, right now it is like this. Now if I simulate this, see how it will change. See, it's becoming almost flat. And now if I check the hysteresis curve, it will be V of V in. If I write this, see, hysteresis curve is perfectly matching. Now let's confirm the values of your VSAT, and so here you can see around yeah. So on the left hand side of your screen, you have your hysteresis curve, asymmetric hysteresis curve, which was evaluated with the numerical, and on the right hand side of your screen, which is dominant, is your positive, that is VUTP value. So somewhere around that. Now you can see carefully the VUTP and LTP are not exactly the same. The reason being the threshold voltage are not the same. So let me calculate the threshold voltage over here. It's around 10.85. So basically for LTC 6244, this is quite high. The saturation voltage If the supply voltage is 11, the saturation voltage will be around 10.85 or 86. So we need to give a lower value over here so that we can get that close. Let me give around 10.16 volts as the supply, then it will come properly. Okay, now if I simulate it again, the hysteresis as well as you can see the output is exactly at plus 10, and downstairs it will be minus 10. You can go, yeah, it is minus 10, so it's perfectly fine. Now let me check the input output waveforms to verify the values of, I mean, you can check it from here also. So here is, this is my point. It's around minus, you can see down below x and y coordinates, it's around minus 4.75, right? And we are getting minus 4.65, so that's quite close. And here my value is at around 0, it's around 7.55, and we are getting 7.44. So it's quite close, very, very close in fact. So this is how we can check the values of the design circuit is perfectly fine, and it's behaving as a asymmetric hysteresis, asymmetric inverting Schmidt trigger with asymmetric hysteresis. So I think that's it for this numerical. Next time we'll see and study the non-inverting Schmidt trigger. Until then, have a good day and thank you.